Yo, what's up, guys? Hey, man, welcome back to the channel. If you're new, go ahead and subscribe to the channel, man. You'll be back. If you for my day ones, man. Hey, as always, man. Y'all know, man. Thank you so much for watching me. Thank you for following me on here, and I appreciate you guys. If you really need extra information, man, go ahead and follow me here. Instagram, the X-Ray Zone. DM me any questions you have. It's free. I'm not gonna charge you. I just want you to have another way of accessing me, because sometimes y'all leave comments and I try to like get to the comments as soon as I can. But if you DM me on Instagram, you get a answer right away, and even a voice message. I think that's better. Sometimes whenever you text things out, it doesn't always come out the way that you think it came out, and then people misread it, misunderstand it. But when I send you a direct voice message, then you're like, oh, okay, I get it now. So it's just a different way of getting a hold of me, guys, because I'm really here to help you. I'm really here to help you make a good decision. Whether it's nursing, whether it's PTA, whether it's radiology, whatever you decide to do, I want you to make a good decision for you. Don't just jump in it because, oh, they get paid a lot. Oh, they're traveling, they're making all this money. That doesn't matter if you're unhappy, okay, and you make the wrong choice. You're like, man, I didn't want to do this, but I get paid good, but I hate it. So let's work together and let me get you to that point, okay? So in today's video, I'm gonna talk to you about forensics radiology. Yeah, I didn't know that existed, huh? Yeah, so forensics radiology, and what they do is so just to get started, to forensics radiology is not something that is like, oh, I'm gonna go to school for forensics radiology. Like, no, it doesn't work that way. You still have to go to X-ray school. You have to do your 2 years, your foundation, pass your registry, and become a RT. So that's the first step. And then once you get that, you have to apply to a forensics radiology opening. They're not easy to come by, and the reason they're not easy to come by is because they get paid very well. So this is their salary. Yeah, it's not bad, right? And it's harder, but it's easier. I know it's kind of like rough to say, but you're dealing with deceased patients, deceased bodies, and what they do, what forensic scientists, forensic scientists, well, scientists too, but forensics radiologists do, is that they aid in a criminal investigation with law enforcement. So their job is to, identify the deceased and see how old they were, what caused the death, what kind of trauma, was it a fractured skull, was it whatever, like that's their job to find out what happened. You don't read it, the radiologist still reads it, but you take the images, you're involved with the, law enforcement, so you're kind of like, you're part of the law enforcement team, so that's what they do, and that's what forensic radiologists do. But you have to understand that, again, it's not an easy job to get into. Is something that's kind of hard to get into, but it's not impossible. But you really, really, really have to know your anatomy, like deep into the skeletal system, not just, oh, this is the femur. Like, no, you have to know like everything within the bone, because any trauma that happens to a certain bone or a certain body part, you have to know it in a deeper, knowledge sense than just the X-ray tech. So that's something to think about. That is not as easy as just, oh, I'm gonna go just do X-rays and press a button. Like, nah. Then now you have to deal with, for one thing, you have to deal with, deceased patients. Can you even do that? Because deceased patients are not just old people. They're old people. They're middle-aged people. They're your age people. They're babies. So there's a lot to think about, man. Infants, like there's just, you have to have a certain kind of like mentality, certain kind of like personality to really be like, oh, I'm gonna go become a forensics X-ray tech. Like what kind of stuff you see. The smells of the deceased, how that is. Quick story. So when I was in X-ray school, they're like, hey man, we're gonna go to the morgue. I was like, the morgue? And I mean, I knew what it was, but I was like, why do we have to go to the morgue, And I always thought I always found it fascinating until I actually went to a morgue. I was like, oh, I've seen movies. I know what that is. But trust me, man, that when you go to a morgue and you go to these, it's basically a big old freezer that they put the patients in, and you walk in there, And I promise you, man, I'm a guy and I'm like, tough. But as soon as I walked in those doors, I had to take a step back and I had to regroup because there's a certain smell, even with the mask, there's a certain smell of the deceased and the freezing room that it will forever stay with you. And I had to go outside and I had to be like, whew, I know this is part of the course. I know this is something that we have to see because, you're going to see this not on a daily basis, not every hospital. It depends where you work now. If you work in the trauma one center, then you probably see a lot of crazier stuff than the normal person that works in your small hospital that you don't get no crazy trauma, freestanding ERs. But when you walk in that room and you see these deceased people and you see the stories, because they had to tell you the stories behind their passing, you have some hangings, you have some, suicide hangings, and you have some drug overdose, and you have MVAs, and bro, it's heartbreaking, man. I ain't gonna lie to you, it's heartbreaking, and it's heartbreaking, but it's cool at the same time, not because they're deceased, of course, but it's cool because the person that's in there, they gotta like they cut the skull with what's it called, like a chainsaw. They cut the skull open, they take the brain out, they let you feel and touch an actual heart. Like that to me is so like it's awesome, but at the same time it's like, man, like you feel bad, bro, because you're like, this dude, this lady just passed away. But that's what you have to deal with, man, when you go into forensics radiology, bro. Like, do you have that heart? Do you have the mentality to deal with that on a daily basis? Now, us in X-ray, we see a deceased patient once every other year, maybe once a year. People pass away depending on where you work, of course, like I said, depending on where you work. But when you work in a morgue, you work in forensics radiology, you're dealing with deceased patients all day, every day. Like, can your heart really handle that? That's what I'm asking. So not be careful. Just understand that that's what you're gonna get yourself into. That's the kind of mentality and workplace you're gonna deal with every day. So if you can handle it, go for it. And I wish you guys the best, man. Me personally, man, I can't handle that, man. I'd rather just go and do your regular x-rays and go home and then call it a day, player. You know what I'm saying? That's just me. But anyway, guys, I hope that this helped you guys out there. As always, thank you for watching. I appreciate each and every one of you. And I'll be back.